Aries, welcome to your weekly horoscope for April 20th to the 26th, 2026. My name's Adeana. I'm an intuitive astrologer. This week is deeply personal for you, Aries. We're not just talking about external events, we're talking about identity, voice, power, and the way you choose to move through the world. Because everything begins with you right now, your body, your mind, your direction. And what's being asked of you is maturity in how you initiate. We open the week up on April 20th with an intense concentration of energy in your first house, which is self, identity, and personal direction. We have Mercury forming a conjunction to both Mars and Saturn in Aries, and we are also still very much in the Mars Saturn conjunction energy that we had on April 19th. And so this is not light energy. This is pressure. This is discipline meeting urgency. The highest expression of this energy is you becoming incredibly focused, sharp, intentional with your words and your actions. You're no longer reacting impulsively. You're choosing your battles. You're speaking with authority because you've earned it through experience. This is leadership energy. This is the version of you that moves with precision instead of chaos. But let's talk about the shadow expression as well, Aries, because if you're not grounded, you will feel this. This can manifest as frustration, irritability, mental burnout, or feeling blocked. It can look like trying to push forward but hitting resistance, especially when it comes to communication. And so you might feel misunderstood or like others aren't moving at your pace. And the truth is, they're not supposed to. This is where your power lies this week, in restraint. You don't need to prove yourself through force. You need to prove yourself through consistency. If something isn't moving, don't break it. Refine your approach, slow your speech, think before you react, because what you say right now has long term consequences. This is karmic communication. This is you setting the tone for how people will engage with you moving forward. Then we get to April 23rd, and we have a major energetic shift happening in your second house of money, self worth, and stability. Venus is forming a conjunction to Uranus in Taurus for the final time before Uranus enters Gemini. This is big. This is a closing chapter around your relationship with money, values, and what you believe you deserve. At its highest expression, this could bring sudden financial opportunities, unexpected income, or even a breakthrough in how you value yourself. You may realize you've been undercharging, under receiving, or settling for less than what aligns with your worth. This is liberation. This is you breaking free from outdated scarcity patterns. But the shadow expression can be instability, impulsive spending, or financial surprises, and emotional decisions tied to security. You might feel the urge to make a sudden move just to feel in control, but control isn't the lesson here. Alignment is. So you need to ask yourself, does this choice reflect my long term value or my temporary emotion? Because Uranus will disrupt anything that isn't built on authenticity. And then we get to April 24th, and we have Venus moving into your third house of communication, mindset, and daily interactions. Suddenly, the energy softens and becomes much more mental. Your charm returns, your ability to connect, to speak, to express becomes magnetic, conversations flow easily. You may find yourself more social, more curious, more open to learning and connecting. But with Gemini energy, there's also the risk of distraction. And so the highest expression of this energy is intentional communication that opens doors. The shadow expression can be scattered energy, like gossip or saying things just to fill space, basically. And so the best thing here is to use your words as tools, not noise. And then we get to April 25th, and this is a pivotal day because we have Uranus officially entering your third house in Gemini, beginning an 8-year long transit, which is going to shift how you think, communicate, and process information. This is a mental awakening. Your mind will not be the same over the next 8 years. I definitely recommend journaling right now and then looking back 8 years from now. It's kind of amazing how Uranus completely liberates certain areas of our life. And we always do go through some form of an awakening. But you are breaking out of rigid thought patterns with this energy. You are becoming more innovative, more intuitive, more open to new ideas. Technology, communication, writing, speaking, these areas can radically evolve for you over the next decade. But the shadow expression, which we have to be a bit mindful of, can be anxiety, overstimulation, and racing thoughts, not being able to slow your mind down. So you're going to have to make sure that you are able to ground your nervous system during this time. Not everything needs an immediate response. Not every thought needs to be followed. Then on the same day, we have the sun in your second house, forming a square to Pluto in your 11th house of community, social circles, friendships, and future goals. This is where tension arises between your personal value and external influences. You may feel challenged by others, by expectations, by group dynamics, by power struggles, maybe within social circles, friendships, or networks. Someone may try to project onto you, or you may feel pressure to conform in some way. But this is a power check. Are you compromising your worth to maintain belonging? That is something you really have to ask yourself if something does come up, because Pluto will expose where you've given your power away. You're not here to shrink for acceptance. You're here to stand in your value, even if it disrupts the dynamic. And then we get to April 26th, and this is where things get mentally and emotionally heightened. We have Mercury in your first house, forming a square to Jupiter in your fourth house of home, family, and emotional foundation. This can feel like internal conflict spilling outward in some way, like you may feel torn between your personal desires and emotional responsibilities. There can be exaggeration here, like maybe saying too much, overpromising, or reacting from emotional overwhelm. The highest expression of this energy is honest communication that honors both your truth and your emotional reality. The shadow expression, though, could be speaking without thinking and having to clean it up later. So, the best thing to do is to slow down. Not everything needs to be said in that moment. And then we have this beautiful sextile between Venus in your third house and Neptune in your first house on that same day. So, this is softness. This is healing through words. This is intuitive communication. This is where you speak from the soul, not the ego. Use this energy to connect, to create, to express something meaningful. This is artistry in your voice. This is compassion in your conversations. This is you remembering that your words can build, not just defend. So, overall, Aries, this week is about mastering yourself, not controlling others, not forcing outcomes, but refining how you move, how you speak, how you respond, because you are in a moment of identity evolution. And the version of you that comes out of this week is someone people take seriously, not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. Whatever comes up this week, Aries, is not happening to you, it's happening for you.